Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about the Bitcoin fixed maximum supply and also the halving. The founder of the mining pool BTC.top is claiming that the Bitcoin core development team's next goal is to raise the Bitcoin maximum supply of 21 million coins and to hold a Bitcoin halving. Now, to me personally, back in August 2017 when we had the first Bitcoin fork and Bitcoin Cash was created, I looked at it as we have now 42 million Bitcoins. We recently had the Bitcoin SV, and to me again personally it was like having 63 million Bitcoins. Even if you do go back to those videos that I was making, I said how many times we're gonna fork Bitcoins and just continue to increase the maximum supply. It is sold Bitcoin as being such a valuable thing simply because there is fixed maximum supply, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I honestly do agree if the Bitcoin core team really are looking into doing this and increasing the maximum supply as something that in order for Bitcoin truly to work as a global currency, it has to be done. Now, if you're looking as a Bitcoin as some sort of a limited edition thing or as a store of value that is limited, then maybe yes, it will work as being capped. Considering the fact that there are around 30-40% already of Bitcoin being lost, that will make it even more valuable. But the goal of Bitcoin is not to be something that only few people have and for something to just be held on and sold as a precious thing and being worth a lot of money. The goal of Bitcoin is to be peer-to-peer cash, so everyone around the world can use Bitcoin. Now we have so many coins and everyone is competing and everyone would like for their cryptocurrency to be used on a global scale. If Bitcoin wants to do that as well and really be what Satoshi vision was, peer-to-peer cash, what's been happening and the fact that there are so many Bitcoins lost and whatnot, definitely I believe the maximum supply needs to be increased. Yes, it could work by being what it is right now, and then if the price of Bitcoin is very high, then a single Satoshi will be worth quite a bit of money. So then yes, you can still spread it around, but it would not be fair because many people are already holding large amount of cryptocurrencies. That would mean that the normal people, the people that gonna get involved with Bitcoin this year, next year, and years forward, would probably not be able to get their hands on Bitcoin, and then it would lose the point of being a peer-to-peer cash. Now, in regards to the halving, I also probably agree, because if you're gonna increase the maximum supply, then miners, especially with the fact that everything is going up, electricity is so high in certain parts of the world and whatnot, miners would really need to continue doing mining Bitcoin and continue to obviously approve transactions and whatnot, but it has to be worth it for them. If they're not going to make anything out of it, eventually you may not have people wanting to mine Bitcoin, and then let's be honest, Bitcoin is going to be dead. Without the miners, there is no Bitcoin. Let's see, moving down to the actual article, what it says. So this is a long-held plan for Bitcoin core camp to increase Bitcoin supply. It is interesting that it's been a long plan, but I guess up until recently, let's say, that was the idea. Keep it is only 21 million, that it's very precious, that if you don't get in now, you're gonna miss the boat and you're gonna miss, let's say, becoming rich. I mean, in the social media scene, everyone just talk about how much Bitcoin it's worth, how if you buy one Bitcoin today, how much richer you're gonna be a few years down the line. So you don't want to miss your chance and whatnot. But again, we have to remember the people behind cryptocurrencies, the developers and whatnot. They're truly looking to revolutionize how money, first of all, people have their control of their own money, and also how money are used around the world being easy. You cut out the middleman. You don't have to report to someone, you don't have to ask for anyone's permission and whatnot. And that, what I truly believe also, is It's what Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency should stand for, rather than that idea of being a fixed supply. You need to get in or you're gonna miss the boat of becoming rich. I don't think the idea of Bitcoin, when it was first obviously created by Satoshi Nakamoto, was you buy Bitcoin, you want to be rich, and that's the end of the story. That's not what it was. In the white paper it says peer-to-peer cash. So and now they just try to know the Bitcoin community response to it by sparking the debate, said Jiang, who is a BCH supporter, adding to the Bitcoin core development team would spend several years persuading opponents to fall into line. Bitcoin core developers have made steadfast progress in the implementation, such as conducting deflationary halving on the green experiment, and intentionally igniting the discussion around the topic of Satoshi roundtable that was held last week. A tweet by Matt Long back in February, well, a few days ago, I was the guy that said, well, he actually responded to the discussion, so I don't know exactly when he posted this. I was the guy that said we might have to one day raise the Bitcoin supply cap. Fight me. So moving forward, Jiang noted, I say Jiang, but it's Jiang, noted that the reason why Bitcoin core developers support the idea of lifting the supply cap and halting Bitcoin halving, by which miners have their block mining reward split in half a target number of cryptocurrencies, because the move will help improve Bitcoin censorship resistance, which is the group highest ideal. Well, exactly what I said a moment ago is the fact that now if the supply really stays as it is, people that, let's say the early adopters holding thousands if not hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins, truly can manipulate the price, do what they want, and also kind of like killing the idea of Bitcoin being a global currency, peer-to-peer cash. And the hash rate will drop off the network due to the unprofitable mining, leaving the Bitcoin network vulnerable to 51% attack. Again, we must not forget that without the miners, there is no Bitcoin, or cryptocurrency in general. If there's no miners to support the network, one, it opens to 51% attack. Two, transactions going to stop. No one's going to be able to use Bitcoin, because if you don't have miners to approve the transactions, how are you going to use Bitcoin? And that's sometimes I don't like people when they say Bitcoin can't be stopped, Bitcoin won't stop and whatnot. Bitcoin could easily be stopped if there is no miners to mine Bitcoin. That will be the end of Bitcoin. And in order for miners to truly continue to mine Bitcoin, it really have to make sense for them as well. Many people are already asking what's going to happen when we reach all the Bitcoins are mined. Obviously that's many years from now on, if everything continues as it is. Some would say, I don't care what's going to happen after so many years, I'm not going to be even around anymore, so whatever happens, I don't care, and whatnot. But the aim is that this could really end up being come to an end a lot earlier if it doesn't make sense to the miners to continue to mine Bitcoin. And also, again, as I mentioned, it truly makes sense to have more Bitcoins than what we have already as a maximum supply. Yes, the idea was solved, many bought because of that idea, but if you're truly looking as to Bitcoin, what it's supposed to be, you have to agree, we need to have more Bitcoins. Bitcoin has to go to many more people's hands. Bitcoin truly gonna have to be used as what it is, and not some stored value. That's what it was sold back in 2017. That's why we had that pump, because people thought, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin, I'm gonna hold it, and then I'm gonna become rich out of it. Yes, if you do hold Bitcoin, eventually price it is likely to increase, and you still can make, let's say, this is not financial advice by the way, and you can still end up making some money out of your, let's say, investment at this point. But the end goal of cryptocurrency in general is for us to use it instead of, let's say, using fiat, instead of you going to the bank, to the cash machine and whatnot. In order to help maintain miners' profit, the Bitcoin core team, who uses proof of work consensus protocol, has no choice but to stop halvening. But raising the fixed cap and stopping the arbitrary halvening could dilute the value of investors holding Now, obviously here is, the argument that the people that are already holding Bitcoin, by increasing the maximum supply, you then gonna obviously make their Bitcoin not being worth so much, because all of a sudden that idea of 21 million Bitcoins, 40% being lost, even more, let's say limited edition, it's no longer, because all of a sudden we have more Bitcoins, and it is a scary thought for these people. But that's the only way moving forward, I believe, to make sense for Bitcoin to survive. Otherwise, eventually, honestly, yes, Bitcoin, it is Bitcoin, but we may see it being overtaken by some other cryptocurrencies. And if that was to happen, even you hold a Bitcoin, which is precious, may not be worth so much because no one is using it. It has to be used in order to make sense. If it's not used, what's the point of it? So you have that Bitcoin, but no one is using it, no one wants to buy it. Well, you can have something very precious, but if there is not someone on the other side that wants to buy it, what's the point of it? Jiang said he did not care about what Bitcoin core developers do to their Bitcoin network, but he firmly opposed the initiative of increasing the maximum number of BCH. So let me know, guys, what do you think down below? This is what apparently the Bitcoin, I don't like calling it core, but let's say, in the sake of of the article, the Bitcoin core team, that's what they're thinking of, probably in a way of trying to also compete with the two new Bitcoins. And let's be honest, down the line it could be another fork. Unfortunately, we see it happening, first with the BCH, now with the with the SV. Eventually someone else may come out and say, no, I'm gonna fork Bitcoin because I don't believe the previous 3 Bitcoins. My Bitcoin is gonna be the original Bitcoin. And all of a sudden we have another Bitcoin that's worth another 21 million and whatnot, and they are all fighting for the top positions. And here, when you have competitions, you truly have to adapt. Sometimes you have to adapt in order to move forward. If you're stuck just with the original idea at the time when you created the idea, maybe it was the best idea, it made sense, but moving forward, if you don't adapt, you could be overtaken. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below, do you agree with increasing the maximum supply? And if you are mining, let's say Bitcoin, you're probably going to be happy if the halving it is stopped, because it will make sense. Eventually, as less Bitcoins are mined, it may not make sense for you to continue mining. But if you do stop mining, we may see Bitcoin, not being there anymore, simply because there's not miners. They're moving to something else that is more profitable, that makes more sense to them. I'm looking forward to hear from you. And if you enjoy this, hit the bell button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.